Hello, my YouTube friends. This is the Cold War Prepper. You can call me Lee. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about this Arctic vortex we've got coming down again this year. Almost 50 weeks after the last one. We did get notification this morning that it's, unlike the last one, it's not going to be 6 days with 5 different storms hitting us all at the same time. It's only going to be 2 days in one storm. But still, it's going to be, kind of inconvenient here in Central Texas where we don't have ice and snow removal equipment. So they're anticipating it will arrive sometime Wednesday evening, Thursday morning. Icy road conditions Thursday and Friday. Accumulations upwards to 2 inches. Just be very, very careful. So I wanted to put together some ideas on what we can do today and possibly tomorrow morning to prepare for this. Number one, just before starting this video, I got a call from the hospital and they're concerned about the icy conditions. So they asked me if I would reschedule my physical therapy appointment for my broken hand, and instead of going to physical therapy first thing Thursday morning, go at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Sure, anything to stay at home and stay away from the ice. So one idea you might want to start off with is, if you have anything scheduled for Thursday or Friday of this week, think about rescheduling it, canceling it now, and just go ahead, stay safe, stay inside. Let's go through the 25 things that I have here in this list. One of the things you might want to consider as well is go to my website, coldwarprepper.com. And I've got a blog, an article I wrote back in December, Lessons Learned from Snowmageddon 2021. So here you might want to take a look at that and add it to this list of 25 things. So let's get into them. Safety first. The first 3 are all dealing with safety. Number 1, never leave an open flame unattended. I don't care if it's a candle or anything else. Just never leave an open flame unattended. Make sure somebody's always watching it. Number 2, have 2 fire extinguishers, probably one in your kitchen. I keep one in the bedroom, only because I'm paranoid about a fire at night being between me and either the fire extinguisher or being between me and an exit or someone I love and want to get them out. So I keep a fire extinguisher next to the bed. That way, if there's a fire, I can put it out and get to the one I want and help escape through an exit or whatever that. Number 3, make sure you have working smoke detectors and a valid working carbon monoxide detector. Have that carbon monoxide detector where you're going to be sleeping, as well as in a room where you might have any open flames. Number 4 and 5, deal with your vehicle. Get it topped off today. Make sure you keep a full tank of gas. Same thing with your generators. Make sure that they have full tanks of gas. Make sure that all your gas canisters, jerry cans are full. Number 5, make sure you get the proper snow removal equipment, what you might need for your vehicle as well. Scrapers, ice spray, whatever the case might be. Make sure you have everything charged, so you have extra batteries. Number 6. Number 7, charge anything and everything you can right now. Plug it in, get it charged. Make sure it has a 100% charge before the ice storm hits. We don't know. Last time they told us it wasn't probably going to be that significant. This time they're telling us that's not going to be that significant. I would rather be prepared, say it's going to be significant. Let's go ahead and prepare for a significant event. And that way there aren't any lives lost because of stupid lack of planning. Prepare your solar chargers now. If you have a solar system, you can plug the battery in now and get it charged before you have to use your solar system. One of the things we learned last February is that when it's overcast like it is today, right now I've got maybe 2% energy efficiency as far as production of my solar system. So if it's overcast, you're not producing electricity. If your panels are covered with snow and ice, they're not producing electricity. So you got to take that into consideration. So if you have a backup solar system, get that battery charged. Lighting, solar crank powered lights. You can get those driveway lights, basically solar powered. Go ahead and get those charged up if you want to. They also have some crank batteries, so think about those. Flashlights, this is the one that Helen keeps next to her side of the bed. It's not really a flashlight, it's an area light, but it puts out a couple thousand or 1,000 lumens of light. It lights up the room. She really likes that, and it has a carry handle. I have this one next to my side, and it's a combination flashlight, but it also has the same kind of an area light. And that's 500 lumens, so that's pretty good as well. Then for candles, which is number 11, I got this at the dollar store for $2. It used to be $1.25 when I first started buying them. I don't know how long this is going to last. I'm going to guess probably 12 to 24 hours, but it is in a glass container, so that flame is not going to be totally exposed, which is a good thing. I really like the Uko candles. So this is an Uko candle, and it's got the chain where you can hang it somewhere if you need to. You open it up, lift up the glass, and then you can light the candle on the inside. This one has a regular paraffin candle. I ordered all of my replacement candles as beeswax. So we've probably got 60, 70 candles beeswax. It says here that they're good for 12 hours. We'll see. I haven't used it yet, haven't had the need. But one of the other things you might want to consider is Zuko also makes what they call the candelier. So this has 3 different candles inside. This puts out enough heat where it can be used as a space heater. It can also be used to put a pot on top of a small pot of water and heat some water so you can have some hot coffee, hot cocoa, a hot cup of soup. Just some things you might want to consider. Heating, numbers 12 through 15. Number 12, don't use your stovetop burners. If you're going to use your stove for heating, turn on the oven and open the door. You don't want those open flames on the top of the stove. Number 13, boil your water ahead of time. We use what we call a half and half theory. So what I do is when I had my emergency response trailer and company, we had these air pots that are fantastic thermoses, and you can get them, I think, at Sam's still or at Costco. But what I do in the morning is I make a pot of coffee. I don't want it to burn on the burner on the coffee pot, so I'll take half of that pot of coffee and pour it into the air pot thermos and let it start warming up that air pot, and then I'll take my first cup of coffee out of the air pot. By the time I finish that cup of coffee, I'm going to go back to the rest of the coffee that's on the burner for the coffee maker and then pour it into the air pot, so that what I'm doing is I'm adding heat to it after it's lost some of that heat, warming the air pot up. We've had coffee stay warm, drinkably warm, for 24 hours. It's not hot, but it is warm. It'll stay hot a good 12 to 18 hours if you do it that way. Don't try to heat the whole house. Set aside one room. We use the kitchen if you're going to use the oven for heating, if you're going to use the Uko candelier for heating. And I've got another idea I'm going to share with you here in just a minute, so that makes it a lot safer if you do all this in the kitchen. But don't try to heat the whole house. It's inefficient. Heat one room at a time. Make sure you put up some barriers, blankets or some other sort of barrier over the windows and doors, so you aren't losing heat that way as well. Number 15, the Native American trick that I'd like to teach you, and that is when I was in Boy Scouts, we're talking half a century ago, we would go to winter camp, and one of the things we'd do is we'd build a raging fire. We'd put rocks all around the fire and warm up those rocks. Then we'd dig a pit underneath where we were going to sleep, and we'd put the warm rocks in that pit, cover it back up with earth, then we put our sleeping bag on top of that. So what we're doing is we're using warm rocks to warm the ground and warm up where we were going to be sleeping. Don't know why we can't use that same idea in an emergency situation. So go outside, get yourself your grill on the outside, put some charcoal in it, start warming it up, get some bricks, some rocks, put those on the grill, warm those up. Now come inside. You can either get a small hibachi or you can get a small apartment style tripod barbecue grill that you just set on a table. You aren't going to put any charcoal or anything else in it. It's just going to be a place where you can put the warm bricks or warm rocks. And set that up inside your kitchen. It could be inside your oven if you don't want to use the grill. You could put it on your burners for your stove. But get those warm rocks and those warm stoves, bring them in, let that residual heat warm up your kitchen and help warm it up as well. Then what you can do is you can have other bricks or rocks warming up outside while these are cooling down on the inside but keeping you warm, and then just swap those out on a regular basis. Cooking. So 16 through 19, get a butane single burner stove. When I bought my can cooker, it came with a real nice little single burner stove. That's also available at Sam's. You can get it, I think you can get it on Amazon. It's a single burner. Coleman, I think, is the maker of it. But it's got a single canister butane you put inside. It's the same thing that the chefs or cooks use at hotels when you go through in the morning and they're going to cook you an egg to order. So it's safe for indoor use, but still I prefer you keep that carbon monoxide detector close by. But you can use those indoors, provided there's adequate ventilation. So always make sure you have adequate ventilation and a carbon monoxide detector. Get some instant coffee, cocoa, instant soup. That's going to be really great. You keep your water warm. You're going to use that for to drink and keep you warm with those types of things. One of the other things you might want to consider for heating indoors is safe heat or chafing heat from Sterno. Now Sterno makes two different kinds of canisters, so be careful. Get the one that they use for internal chafing heat, for chafing dishes, for serving lines. And that's a little bit safer to use indoors. It's a lower temperature, I have to admit, but it is heat, but it is safer than the one you use for campfires or for camping and stuff like that. It's a little bit hotter burning Sterno. What you do need to do, however, is go to the camping session, get one of those Sterno stoves, the metal container that you put the Sterno can into, and that way you don't have an open flame where somebody can accidentally get burnt. But that's just another safety thing you might want to use with that, or else put it way back on inside your oven where kids aren't going to get to it or anything like that. Water, number 20 and 21, cover your spigots, cover your pipes, and then number 21, make sure that you have a drip. We do about 10 drips per minute at the kitchen sink and at our master bathroom sink, because those are both the two farthest away from where the street water inlet comes into the house. So you want it farthest away from where the water comes in. Keep those in a drip. Fridge and refrigerator, number 22 and 23. So get those gel packs or freezer packs. Start plugging them in your freezer now. Get it solid. The more stuff you have in there, the more residual cold you're going to have, and it's going to keep it colder longer. If you can't do that, get bottles of water and just throw those inside your freezer. If it comes to the point where you need to keep your refrigerator cool, pull one or two of those out and put it inside your refrigerator, and it'll act as a coolant for your refrigerator portion. Remember, at least here in Texas, the health code is in order to keep something frozen, it has to stay at 0 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. And in order to keep something cool, it has to be at 40 degrees or cooler. Water freezes at 32, so frozen water is going to keep your refrigerator cool, but not necessarily keep frozen items frozen in your freezer. So restrict access. The longer you keep those doors closed, the safer it's going to be. Number 24, your pets. Remember, they have paws, they don't have hooves. So when that skin meets frozen concrete or frozen asphalt, there's a possibility for it to stick, and when they pull it up, it's going to rip some skin off, and they're going to have a bloody mess. Take care of your pets. Just be aware that they don't have hooves, they have paws, and when they go out there in this stuff, it can tear them up, and you don't want them to experience that kind of pain. Number 25, take care of your plants, cover them up, move them out of the sleet, the freezing rain, whatever you're having, and also get them out of the wind, because wind chill factor can do a real trick on plants. A bonus is, just as I was getting ready to start this, Helen came up to me and said, "Hey, I like your list." She says, "Now do me a favor, as soon as you're done with that, take your clothes off and throw them in the washing machine. I want to get all of the laundry done, washed and dried before the ice storm hits." So consider that as one more thing you need to do, and that is make sure that you have all of your laundry taken care of so that you're comfortable and you don't have anything that you need to wash or dry once it happens. So hopefully those tips will give you some ideas on what you can do to stay warm, stay safe, and see you on the other side of Snowmageddon 2. But whatever you do, make sure you take care. So have a nice day.